I got a subject for you. A question. I'm watching Santa Claus Conquers the Martians because it's Christmas time. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Um, the Martians, they basically, if you haven't seen the movie, the Martians abduct Santa Claus, but they also take two kids with them. They want to go back to Mars to teach their children to have fun or something and celebrate the holiday. They abduct Santa Claus, but then they take these kids who were witnesses to Santa's abduction, and the Martians are like, we have to take the kids with us. And I'm like, why do the Martians need to take the children? They have incredible powers that we don't have. They have mastered interstellar travel, and they're worried about two little kids telling stories about Martians kidnapping Santa Claus. I'll open the floor for this one. What do you think?
Okay, this is a movie I saw bits and pieces of, and I don't have a clear opinion about the movie.
Well, the Pia Zadora. Mostly we remember Pia Zadora, a very young little Pia Zadora, who's cute as a button in the movie, playing a Martian girl.
I'd say it'd be like when was that thing made? Like in the 50s or 60s?
It was like the late 60s, I would say. 68, 69.
It's in color. Okay.
It's in a very terrible, murky color, yes.
Yes. It's a really weird looking color.
It's like mustard unique. Vision HD.
I don't know if this is something that's available on Blu-ray or on.
It probably is because it's such a quiche title now.
Oh, is it really? I'm gonna have to catch up with that one. I have to dig that one.
You could probably find like a 1080p or a 4K of it at this point.
Oh my gosh! Oh, God.
Bad movies, good movies, same thing.
I know, of course. Well, that's why I got the YouTube Red, so I can dig these movies up. I mean, for crying out loud, I was at Target today, and they don't even sell movies anymore.
And Best Buy too. Best Buy's not doing it either. No physical media.
No
trying to get rid of physical media. They want everyone streaming. They want everyone to pay, a quarter per viewing, like some kind of peep show. That's how they figured out how to make money.
It's so ridiculous, man. Because and then if you want to watch certain movies, you got to pay for Netflix. You got to pay for Hulu. You got to pay for Disney or whatever.
Yeah,
because it's their own
I have Netflix
exclusive.
Myself. That's the only service I use is Netflix.
I
don't use anything else. I had all the cable. I just use 15 channels that I pay for in addition to the local stuff. And I cut my bill down because they were taking too much money.
Oh, I agree. It's I'm down. I've got 3 televisions and they're all connected to antennas. I stream the rest of it. I just use I get a lot of channels, believe it or not.
Why do the Martians care so much about what two kids are going to say about them?
I guess they just want the kids there to observe and see how their kids are supposed to react to Christmas. That would be my guess.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that.
What do you think about? I mean, like I said, I've seen tidbits of the movie.
I'm going to say it's a reflection of the paranoia of the Nixon administration, and that they were kind of it was a metaphor for all the political intrigue that was happening at that time in our country. So there you go.
Hey, very well could have been. Is that something they said or that you read about or in the background or?
I just figured the political climate was one of paranoia. Nixon was recording conversations with people, and he didn't want anyone to know what they knew or anything like that. So, and that's what eventually led to his resignation. So it makes sense that I don't know, maybe the Martians are some kind of version of us at the time. Who knows? It's politically subversive, It's sci-fi. Yeah. Science fiction was like that.
Yeah, it was like that back then. It was pretty new. It wasn't successful. I don't think it got very successful till Star Wars came along. So,
as far as the big money,
big money wise,
back then there was still like B-movie driving kind of stuff,
But I like it. I still like. There's stuff I still like,
Absolutely, I love all that stuff. I watch old movies every night. We talked about this. We talked about the fact that we watch old movies, and I love watching an old movie. I had to watch because I'm doing a podcast with my friend John Fralick on Tuesday, and we're going to talk about Hammer movies, Hammer horror films. So we're talking about the first ones, which are, I guess, let me see, Curse of Frankenstein, Dracula, Horror of Dracula, and The Mummy. All 3 of them star Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. I figured with us, you and me, we should be doing is we should do a thing. There used to be this old thing called cleaning out your notebook. Talk about the stuff that we talk, like movies that we saw and pass on that information or something like that. Just random conversations just lasting forever. I'll start off with one that I watched a couple of days ago before Bronwyn and Regan took off. Bronwyn and Regan, my wife. Most people who listen to me know that. I watched a movie a couple of days ago called Moment by Moment. And this is a movie starring Lily Tomlin and John Travolta, and it was made in 1978. And it was written and directed
I've heard
by...
of this film. And is this when he this is an older woman with a younger guy type of
yes, yes. Yep. And it's a romance. It's not a comedy. Romance. It's like, okay, it was made in 1978. This is the height of Travolta's fame at the time, because he had just made Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever. Yep.
Grease, and then this movie, and he was like under contract with Robert Stigwood, and Stigwood produced this movie, and it was written and directed by Lily Tomlin's lover at the time, now wife, Jane Wagner, I think. And I guess the idea was to make a romantic movie, and it's so funny because Lily Tomlin, well, it's funny in the completely opposite way. Lily Tomlin's a comedian, and here she is, starring in a romantic drama with John Travolta. And he's like this young man. He's very handsome. He's very charming, and he's kind of not terribly bright. So he's, I guess, what Jerry Seinfeld would call a himbo. And he's like, hey, I just wanted to kind of like get together with you, and I was thinking we could just kind of hang out, And she's like, I don't like you. I don't want to hang out with you. And then she grows to love him, and it becomes kind of a love story about. I think she's about 15 years older than him, and I guess maybe that's taboo. I guess that's taboo for the time. These days,
These days, it might be. Yeah, it kind of is, but like, nah.
He's okay. But this is kind of funny how they meet. How they meet is because he's a drug dealer. I guess he's friends with a drug dealer, and she bought some drugs or something, like some sleeping pills or whatever, prescription pills. And I guess he decided he wanted to hang out with us. It's like, hey, you want to hang out with me? I was like thinking we could like hang out, And it's like, I got drugs or whatever, but I don't want you to do drugs because do you love me? And then they get into a hot tub. It's like, he's like, I love you. And she's like, she doesn't want to say that she loves him or something because I guess he's, he's a kid or so, I don't know. So, assuming that she's 35 or maybe, let's assume she's 35 in 1978. And so that makes him 20, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's terrible because he seems really mature. And what's more, this is the funny thing about this. They both have the same hairstyle.
I think I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, if you look up a poster, the poster is really cool too because it's different. He's the girl and she's the guy. She's holding him in her arms. It's awesome to watch, actually. The movie's kind of, it's silly. It's a silly movie, but it's not terrible. A lot of people said, oh, God, this is terrible. Lily Tomlin isn't funny. What the hell is John Travolta doing? It's okay. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it.
Actually, I'm looking it up right now. I do see I see images on it, some clips on it. Yep, I see what you're talking about.
Do you see the poster?
Yeah,
she's cradling him in her arms.
Their hair is identical because I haven't seen her.
He's the girl. He's the girl in this, though. She's the guy. She pursues him. He kind of does this. Hey, what do you think about you and me hanging out? Sandy, baby.
Yeah. He's got that voice that he carried from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Mr. Kotter. Yeah. But it was a charming movie. I enjoyed it for what it was.
It's even got a Blu-ray too.
It's on It is on Blu-ray. I grabbed it from another source. I usually get a lot of my stuff. I sent you a couple of links. I get a bunch of stuff from different places. I've got like an enormous collection. Not only I got Blu-rays, I have DVDs, I have some laser discs, and I have VHS. I have Warner clamshell VHS that I collect over the years. So I have a whole bunch of those too. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff on my hard drive and all that. As well as the streaming. So I'm watching Okay, that was my movie. Can you give me one? Give me a movie.
I watched the trailer to a movie called Buddy Buddy from 1981. It's got Walter Matthau.
Buddy. Okay,
and Jack Lemmon.
Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, right? Was it directed by Billy Wilder? did
And
play on
I
TV a
watched the
lot. So
trailer.
yeah, Billy Wilder.
It looked interesting because I do like Jack Lemmon. I like Walter Matthau. Jack Lemmon did a really good film that was played on HBO quite a bit called Missing. Did you ever see that movie? When he
Missing, is that the one? Is that the one with Sissy Spacek?
Yes, they go down to South America. His son gets abducted, and he's looking for his son, and it's a really sad movie.
Is Kim
But
Cattrall in that movie?
that's a great question.
And was it
She did.
directed by Bob Clark, the guy who directed Porky's, or am I thinking of something else? Let me see. Let's take a look here at Mr. Jack Lemmon, who is one of the great actors.
Yes.
One of my favorites of his is Glenn Ross. That's later in his career.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah.
No, Costa Gravas. Sorry. It was
1982.
Gravas, Sissy Spacek, Melanie Maron, John Shea. Right. Okay.
Okay. It's got some other actors in here. I'm trying to go down the line here. I don't see her. When an idealistic American writer disappears during the Chilean coup d'etat in September 1973, his wife and father try to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. And you got the movie poster, and the movie poster reads, Charlie Horman thought that being in America and would guarantee his safety. His family believed that being Americans would guarantee them the truth. They were all wrong. Right on the movie poster. I mean, the movie poster.
The music from Vangelis, because I have a tape of his music, and that's one of those great themes. I remember that one.
Yeah, I do actually vaguely remember the theme. Yeah, being
it's like this kind of like little. It's like a little piano thing, and it's really nice, actually. Well, Vangelis was a great composer. He did
Vangelis.
I
think that's how they pronounce
it. He's Greek and has a long last name, but brilliant composer, and he did Chariots of Fire. He did Blade Runner. He did. He was with a band in the '70s called Aphrodite's Child, and I have a couple of tapes somewhere of the music because I used to listen to his music. It was very inspiring for me listening to it. Yeah, there's actually Missing. It was nominated for 4 Oscars, and it won Best Adapted Screenplay. But we're talking about Buddy Buddy for a second here. Let's go back to Buddy Buddy. Billy Wilder is one of those great filmmakers he actually successfully made the transition from the golden age of Hollywood to the late 60s, early 70s. And he made a couple of great films in there, like The Apartment. That was a great one with Jack Lemmon. He made, I think he made Irma La Douce also with Shirley MacLaine. And he made this movie that I absolutely adore. One of my favorite movies ever called Avanti with Jack Lemmon and Juliette Mills. Juliette Mills' boyhood crush when I was a kid watching that movie. It's about the children of 2 people who died in Italy, and this couple was having a clandestine affair, and I guess they died in a car accident together, and so their kids come over to claim the bodies and take them back to the respective place or whatever. And meanwhile, I guess they fall in love too. The children of these 2 lovers fall in love, and it's a great movie. I love it. It's a wonderful movie. I recommend it for everybody out there.
Avanti?
It was made Avanti.
Avanti. Okay. Avanti. I see it. Yep. And did you know that Buddy Buddy was his last film he directed? This is from 1980.
Wilder,
yeah, from 1981. So
yes.
I'm not sure when he passed. He left. Oh gosh, he lived a long life. He died in 2002. He was 95 years old.
He was one of the great directors of comedies back. He directed The 7-Year Itch, is my favorite Marilyn Monroe comedy.
Okay.
He also directed Some Like It Hot.
Yep, Some Like It Hot.
His Yiddish name is Shmuel Wilder. He was born June 22nd, 1906, to a Jewish family in Sukkot, a small town in Galicia. Oh, he's an immigrant. He's from Poland, I guess. I guess that's
okay.
Yeah. So he must have come over here way before, I guess, the war started. Yeah, he was a great director. And like I said, he was able to do that transition from classic films to modern films. And, there's very few directors that were able to do it. Kubrick is one, I guess. Sidney Lumet. Who's that other one? Stanley Donen, I think. Oh, I forgot. He directed Sunset Boulevard, that one with Gloria Swanson and all that.
Okay.
Wow, this guy directed a bunch of classics. Sabrina, the original Sabrina.
There's a little bit of a connection I see with the one that Harrison Ford redid back in the 90s. I don't know if he had anything
Harrison
to do
Ford.
with that. He did.
He was
Harrison
in
Ford
the
was in the
remake
remake
with
of Sabrina. Julia
he was in the
Ormond. Mm-hmm.
so it
But in
was
this one, yes.
oh, Julia Ormond. Sorry, I always get
Yep.
them. I always get them confused.
It's really easy to confuse those two, Binoche and Ormond.
They almost look alike, practically.
They almost look alike. They were really popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
They made a lot. I saw a lot of films in the 90s with them in it. You don't see them that much anymore, but they're still, still great actors.
I'm going to watch something, I think, and I believe it's Juliette Binoche. I'm going to rewatch a movie sometime in the next couple of days. It's part of Kieslowski's Color trilogy, Red, Blue, and White. And she was in the movie Blue, and I'm going to watch that again. Red is probably my favorite of them. White is a comedy.
I didn't see those three. I did not see those three.
You have some time, watch it. They're all kind of connected by a little thing that happens to each of the characters. They all sort of know each other in a way because they all are involved in the same accident. So Kieslowski, I guess, made these three movies to show their individual lives before they converged, I guess. One is a comedy, one is a drama, and the other one is kind of a surrealist thing. I don't want to spoil it for you, so go ahead and watch it. Wish I had my calendar, and then I could tell you what else I looked at. One more thing I looked at. I still have to laugh about that. I still have to laugh about moment by moment because it's just so it takes itself seriously. It's earnest, but it's just kind of silly because you've got John Travolta trying to hit on Lily Tomlin, and it's just like these things never happen in the real world. John Travolta doesn't hit on Lily Tomlin. Maybe Lily Tomlin might try to buy John Travolta a drink, and I'm talking about 1978 John Travolta.
Okay. Totally different.
She's like waving him off. She's like waving him off with a stick practically, and he's just all over. He's like, I just think you're a really great girl, and I'm not gonna stop doing my Travolta impersonation.
Well, I don't think
well, we did watch some. We watched some Christmas related movies, right?
Right.
So I always try to watch Die Hard because Die Hard to me is a Christmas movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And we also watched The Ref. That's a movie with Dennis Leary and Kevin Spacey and Judy Davis. Great comedy about a burglar or a guy who basically holds a family hostage during Christmas in Connecticut. And then we watched Roadhouse. I watched Roadhouse.
Okay.
I made fondue. We have this tradition that I started 2 years ago where I make a fondue. Yeah, I cook. I make a fondue, and we watch Roadhouse. And watching Roadhouse is a lot of fun, let me tell you. The Blu-ray is really awesome because it not only has commentary from Rowdy Harrington, the director, it has commentary from Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier. They're just sitting there watching the movie, and they put it on the Blu-ray. Roadhouse is a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. I did have a question, though. Keith David is listed in the credits, and I couldn't find him anywhere in the movie. I wonder, was he in the movie and they just cut him out? They had to cut him out, but they gave him a credit anyway because there are no, like Keith David's, he's black, and there's no black people in this movie at all. It's all just a bunch of white people.
Okay, you probably have to dig a little bit here. Like, could it have been at the house he was staying at?
Wait, which house?
No.
Oh, you're saying
Patrick Swayze's character? He stayed at some home.
Dalton stays in a nice house too, actually.
It's a nice house. He stays upstairs in that loft. It's really nice. I don't think Keith David was there, but he could have been.
That was Keith David's house?
Keith David, I know.
There was no mention in the Wikipedia about Keith David being removed from the movie, and I didn't see him at all. I swear to God.
Yeah, that would bug me. Let me see something here. Keith David Roadhouse scene.
David is his most signature roles are he was in The Thing, he was in They Live, he was in Platoon.
Right, I see him. He's one of the guys in the red. He's a bouncer. He's got glasses on. He's way in the back
in the movie.
Yeah,
but he must have. Oh yeah, okay, all right. I see a picture here.
He's one. I was gonna send you a photo. Do you see him now?
Yes, I see a picture of him with the girl there, and then the bouncers.
Me too. That's
And
exactly
okay,
why.
yeah, I did not see him. He must have had a subplot that was cut out because they give him a really prominent credit too. It's not like it's like Keith
They
David
could.
all the way at the bottom. He's like seventh billing in the movie, probably because he has a really good agent. So there you go.
Yeah, he could have. They could have shot that scene. He could have been paid, and it
Why are you
made
going to
that.
cast Keith David unless you give him something to do, right?
Yeah, that is a little bit odd.
Anyway, great movie. I love
Michael
this movie quite a
Biehn.
bit. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun, and it's a very simple story. It's just harmless fun. That's really all it is, and it's so hard to make a movie like that anymore. You can't just go and make a movie and just have fun doing it. No, everything has to have some kind of a weird meaning to it. And this is, Dalton. Okay, it's Patrick Swayze comes to a town. Kevin Teague is the owner of a roadhouse,
Hmm.
and he they apparently have really rough clientele. So Dalton's there to get the place back in line and get all the riffraff out. And it's just a great movie. He injures himself. He hooks up with a sexy doctor. They have
Hmm.
sex to these Arms of Mine by Otis Redding, which is one of my wife's favorite songs. She loves Otis Redding.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a wonderful. Sam Elliott's in there. He dies. My
Oh
daughter,
yeah.
my daughter thinks Sam Elliott is hot, and she was upset when he was killed.
Oh
There you go.
no.
My daughter has the strangest taste in men, and I don't understand it. Anyway, so that's
Oh,
Roadhouse, right?
right. Yeah, that's.
Uh,
I saw the remake actually on Prime.
okay, all right. I didn't see the remake. What did you think of it? Did Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
You know what? The movie is not that great. It's not even close to the original, but Jake does a really good job in his role. I would say
Well,
he
he
would.
better. I mean, you're casting him in this role. This is like iconic, and you've
I
got Jake
know.
Gyllenhaal, and they got him with his shirt. He's like wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but he's
All
kind of
right.
cut. But he's got kind of a punch, but he's got visible pectoral muscles. So he's trying to look really manly. But the thing is, you're going up against Patrick Swayze, and Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze in his prime was like 100% USDA grade cut beef man right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's hard, but yeah, I think he pulled it off. Him by him, I mean himself. He carried
Was it
that
the
scene.
same? Was it the same concept?
Yes, it is the same. Basically, it actually. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't turn it off. Like I didn't. Any time I watched it straight through. I can't say it's the best movie. I can't say it's as good as the original, but I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty good.
Would
Even
you
some of the
recommend it though?
supporting.
What do you think
Yeah,
about watching it back to back with the original?
sure. I would. Yeah, I would just to compare it and just to see. And there's really no comparison, but you don't have, like I said, you don't have a big supporting cast of known people in it. If
Okay.
there are, I'd have to look it up again because I probably forgot about them by now. So
Let's
hate to say
check.
that.
Let's check the remake here very quickly. Where's the remake? They made a straight-to-video home sequel in 2006. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, yeah, it was directed by Doug Liman, who is a great. He's a great director. He's a fine director. Daniela Melchior as Ellie, who I've never heard of. Conor McGregor. Oh, Conor McGregor. He's one of those mixed martial arts fighters or something. Billy Magnuson, never heard of. He's a pretty boy. Jessica Williams. You've got B.K. Cannon is a girl, but Barbara Kimberly Cannon. Sorry. Um, Lucas Cage. Yeah, I don't know any of these people. All I know is Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal, and that's about it.
Conor McGregor, was he like a wrestler or something
He's like a
in his
fighter. He
life?
was,
A
yeah, he
fighter,
he's like
MMA?
one of those, he's not the kind where they use gloves. He just like stage steel cage matches, that kind of thing. He's like a
Hmm.
big, scary looking Irishman.
Okay. Yeah.
Connor Anthony
Yeah, he's the
McGregor.
bad guy. He's the bad guy in the movie.
Is he the guy who said I used to fuck guys like you in prison?
Right, yeah, exactly. One
Unbelievable.
of those kind of guys.
Well, okay, there's your manly quotient. I suppose that's manly.
Right, right. Post Malone, he's a musician. Actually, I don't listen to the guy, but I guess they had a musician in the first movie, and they have Post Malone, I guess, playing at the bar in this film. He's fairly popular, I think. People. I mean, people
They
talk
had,
about
yeah, in
them
the
in the
original
news.
Roadhouse, they had the real composer of a lot of the music is the guy who's blind and playing the steel
Blind,
guitar.
playing the steel guitar, the blind guy. Yes, he is a genuine musician.
He's actually there, and he's I think he's there to keep the band on time, as they're performing. Because I think the way Rowdy Harrington shot that movie is that he actually did everything live and in camera. So if there were bar fights or stuff, and there was dialogue scenes,
Right.
he had the band playing in the background just to provide ambiance. Rowdy
Mm-hmm.
Harrington is he's a great filmmaker. He made a movie called Jack's Back with James Spader. It's a fantastic film.
Oh wow, yeah, I've heard of that film.
And he made a movie called Gladiator with Cuba Gooding and the guy the kid from Twin Peaks. I forget his name, but it's a great movie.
Huh. Okay, we're not talking Russell Crowe here or anything.
No. This is about fighting. It's about fighters.
Okay.
In modern day. And he made a movie called Striking Distance, I think, with Bruce Willis. And that was okay too. That was a fair movie. But he was a wonderful director back in the late 80s, early 90s. And his name is Rowdy. I mean, come on. He's not going to be directing a Bergman remake or something. Ingmar Bergman, sorry. He's going to be directing something that involves, I don't know, manly men. Hey, let's fight.
Yep, Gladiator with James Marshall, Cuba Gooding
James
Jr.
Marshall. There you go.
And Brian Dennehy, the late Brian Dennehy. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Dennehy's in it. I
Yes.
think he's one of those. There's usually you know what the thing is? It's just like Roadhouse, where you have old guys, and you have old guys fighting old guys, and then getting young guys to fight for them.
Exactly.
So it's sort of that kind of thing. Ben Gazzara is in the original Roadhouse. He's the bad guy. And Ben Gazzara does not belong in that movie at all. He belongs in movies that take place in New York, where he's like up against the mob and they're going to kill his wife and children if he doesn't figure out how to take them out or something. But Ben Gazzara is more of like a East Coast, kind of mafia kind of a dude. Whereas here he's like some kind of, I don't know what he's like. He's like a guy trying to take over all the small businesses, and he's destroying all the small businesses, and he's getting protection money and all these people. And they all, in the end, it's a great ending because the stupid bear comes down, hits one of the redneck guys who's actually an undercover cop, and all the old men take turns killing this guy, and then they all get rid of the guns. So they're all like, I don't know what happened to him.
Okay.
Fun movie. Really fun movie. Great movie.
That's cool. Yeah.
I've got a title here.
Okay.
This is a movie from 1970, and it stars Roger Moore. It's a British psychological horror film called The Man Who Haunted Himself. This is a very interesting movie. There's a lot about it that you can see in a lot of horror movies being made today.
I like Roger Moore.
This is before James Bond. It's after The Saint, before James Bond, and he's really quite good in it, actually. It has like a twist ending, I guess, and it's about a guy who presumably gets injured in a car accident, and then he comes back, and everything is very strange after he comes out of the hospital. His whole life is strange. Everybody's weird. And there's kind of a twist. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but you want to watch it. It was just given a Blu-ray release, actually, a new Blu-ray release. It's been on VHS and DVD forever, and I found a copy of it on DVD. But it recently just got restored, and it's a good movie. He's good in it too. He's not playing James Bond, and a lot of times, you find that Roger Moore just can't get James Bond out of his system when he's playing another part. But here, this is before Bond and after The Saint, so he's sort of in this weird limbo territory between the two.
Okay, I'm seeing the Blu-ray. I'm seeing the DVD. Which one did you watch?
I just watched the DVD. It was like it's not the best quality, but it was good enough for a DVD. Blu-ray.
It's a little bit pricier than the Blu-ray is more expensive, obviously, but.
If you want to look, I don't know if you do, but I go to dvdbeaver.com, and no, it's not what it sounds like. They actually do. They do reviews and analysis of DVDs and Blu-rays, and they have screen caps, and they do comparisons, and they check the sound, and they
Gotcha.
The Man Who Haunted Himself Blu-ray. Yeah, you should really check it out. The Blu-ray looks really nice, but it's just a nice image anyway.
I like the. Oh my gosh, he looks behind the steering wheel. I see this picture of him, and he's in the dark, and he's got this weird look in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't quite look. He's not quite James Bond.
No, not at all.
Essentially, there's a little
there's
a little documentary here about Roger Moore called A Matter of Class, and they've got his son, and his son looks a lot like him from the nose up. Everything below the nose must be his mouth. His mom, sorry. Well, he's got a little cleft chin there, but he's a good-looking kid actually, just like his dad. So I guess he was blessed genetically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Roger Moore. Just quickly, actually, if you want to talk about it, just quickly. Roger Moore's my favorite James Bond because he's the one I grew up with. Who's your favorite James Bond?
He's my favorite James Bond too because he's the one I grew up with, like The Spy Who Loved Me, and a lot of the films that HBO had, or during that time period, Moonraker even,
When I was a kid, when we had HBO, because we're both members at the Vintage HBO Guides as well. Great site there. Recommended for anybody interested in nostalgia and all that stuff. The two movies that they showed when I was a kid when we had HBO were Octopussy and A View to a Kill. They showed them constantly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They also showed Never Say Never Again, which was the Connery, I guess.
It was this comeback type thing.
But it was kind of like a rivalry with Roger Moore too. I guess with
I thought it was supposed to be like, it wasn't supposed to really count as a James Bond film.
It's not canon, and it's a remake.
Not canon.
It's a remake of Thunderball, I believe.
Is it really?
Thunderball is not a favorite. I don't like. Yeah, Connery. I like Dr. No. I like Goldfinger. I like You Only Live Twice. But for the most part, Roger Moore's my guy. And if I had a second, it would probably be Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's great. He's a great actor overall.
Pierce Brosnan is very close to the Roger Moore thing. My wife is a big Dalton fan. She loves Timothy Dalton. She also likes Daniel Craig a lot. Not too big on. I like Dalton. I like License to Kill is awesome. Not a big fan of Craig though. I'm not. I don't like his thing. He's a little too moody,
Yeah, I haven't seen a Daniel Craig James Bond movie yet, to be honest with you.
I got this whole 50th anniversary box set. It's got everything up to what is it, Quantum of Solace, I think. Oh, okay. And it comes in this really handsome thing. Maybe I'll do a video or take a picture of it. But it's a really handsome bound book kind of thing with the Blu-rays in it. And it's got everything from the beginning to Quantum of Solace. And then it has space for Skyfall that you can shove in there. And also I have Spectre. And I watched No Time to Die recently. When did I watch that? A year ago? Yeah, it's not that great. But, like I said, Roger Moore. Roger Moore is the man as far as Live and Let Die is my favorite of them.
Did I leave my t-shirt here?